interviews with business owners and veteran executives who share their wisdom and expertise to help you de-stress, free up time, and make more money. Prophets of IT. Welcome back to the Prophets of IT. I am Jim Punzenberger, your host, and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System, looking to generate new clients or partners. Be sure to check out managedprospectingsystem.com. I'm super excited this morning that I have Ken with me. Ken is a former MSP owner. He owned an MSP for about 12 years before selling it and joining the dark side of the vendors. And he's been with 𝐶𝐈𝐍𝐶 previously, grew the 𝐶𝐈𝐍𝐶 channel, and now he just told me this morning that he's the joined Taylor Business Group and the vice president of community there. And I guess I won't mention that he's also a Tom Brady fan. Wait, I guess I just did.
Just did.
Ken, please introduce yourself and tell us a quick bit about Taylor Business Group.
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, Jim, great job on the intro. Ken Patterson, Vice President of Communities and Ecosystems, still brand new, just yesterday made the announcement. As you mentioned, I did have an MSP for 12 years. And then I also, after I sold my MSP, consulted with a few MSPs before joining the dark side. So I was in the MSP business for about 20 plus years before coming over. I'm aging myself, Jim. I really need to slow that down. And came over to Taylor Business Group. And my whole role at Taylor Business Group is to do what I similarly did in the past, over at 𝐶𝐈𝐍𝐶, coming out and taking the communities and bonding them together, growing them, and educating them, and really getting things to the next level from a standpoint of what Taylor already does with their business improvement groups and their coaching and all the things that they tie together. The main thing that Taylor Business Group does is they help MSPs, business and finance, be better. And we all know that was something that I was horrible at. I wasn't very good at the finance or the business. Really, I started to learn the business as I went through. But getting your finances in order to find out where you want to be. And I truly believe that every business should be building your business like you want to sell it.
Well, tell me something interesting about yourself outside of work, other than that you're a Tom Brady fan.
A weird fact. Okay, I'll give you a weird fact. It's a newer weird fact that kind of came on through travel and all the things. I'm a huge karaoke fan. The people in the audience are not such a big fan, but I am. I've learned that I like to do karaoke and just get up there and have a good time and, not really care what anybody says. You can throw stuff at me, but I'm a big
very entertaining. It sounds like you're like me in karaoke. I've been told I'm very entertaining. And it's like, on what is it? The American Idol show.
Right.
They got the people at the in the very first episode, the ones that should have never showed up for the audition. And they're just horrible. That's me. So I don't know. Is that what you're saying you are, or are you like?
I have my good, my bad days, but yeah, the entertainment's always there. I'll definitely do a lot of David Lee Roth songs where I can strut around the stage and be a little goofy.
Sounds like a good time.
Yes, always a good time.
So Ken, moving back to professionally now, I guess question is, what do you contribute your success to, or what might you say is your superpower when it comes to business, and how can others learn from that to be more successful themselves? I know that's kind of a tongue twister and a long question, but
yeah, it is.
Your answers.
Yeah. And so, as we talked about before, and I say this all the time, there's no silver bullet. So that's the one thing, to becoming a successful MSP. There's many ways to get there. So, when I talk about things, I try to just give ideas. If there's something you can pull away from a success story that I had, that's what you really want to be able to do. And be careful of the folks that say, I'm going to tell you something right now, and if you don't do this, it's never going to work. Well, that's not true. There's many ways to do this. Yes, there are some key factors with process and, following along with your, the financial business model. Oh, there's certain things that you have to absolutely do. This thing's called ethics. You have to do that. But I'm talking about when people say that their path is the only path. That's not true. As far as some shifts or some things that, help make me successful. One of the big things, and I'm not saying this just because Taylor just happened, but getting involved with, peer groups, or what Taylor likes to call business improvement groups, because they do a little bit more from that perspective. And any type of group that you can get into where your peers are involved and you can learn from each other is a big deal. And that's where I started to really expand my knowledge. And, I came across as a lot smarter than I thought I was, because I started to learn from other people and apply some of the things that they were doing and pulled into place. And it was in these groups and in the channel, I'll say I became a big part of the channel company's exchange events, because there were large events. There was a lot of people there, and we used to just go and meet at these events and pull off of each other and learn off of each other. And one of the big things that came out of that was buying into an EOS, an entrepreneurial operating system, something like Traction or Patterson. I'm not related to the Patterson folks, but I wish I was. But really, really getting into process and policy and learning how to follow those and get your efficiencies up. It wasn't until I started to really buy into those processes that the business that I thought was going really, really well wasn't going as well as I thought, when I started to dive into that, actually talk to my people, see if we were going in the same direction. And I will tell you, it's not easy, but nothing worth doing is. When we dove into Traction, I had to let some people go, and it turned out they actually saw it coming. They were not in the right seats, and there wasn't a place for them, and we were not all rowing in the same direction, as Traction likes to talk about. So I would definitely say, one of the key things, Jim, is to get involved with an EOS system, whatever it is, Patterson, Traction, whatever works for you, and get an implementer, because you'll think that someone on your staff can do it, but it's really, really hard. It's a cost. And there's a lot of work that's involved, and some things, like you have to let people go and you have to change, and you have to look at yourself, right? As the owner, as the person running the company, there's a lot that I thought I was doing right that I was definitely not doing right, and not handling properly. And so getting all that and getting yourself out of the way to get your business moving forward is probably one of the biggest, the key things that we did to roll to the next level. And I'm talking, we were struggling with that 1 million, Jim, right? I know this. That 1 million is such a hard thing to hit. At one point, I was actually going to spend 10 grand of my own money just to get me over the hump of the 1 million, so I could save a $1 million company, right? Because we were at $992,000, and I'm like,
I'm gonna write my company a check.
Exactly. I gotta do something here. So, but when we did this and we had our processes in place and we started to learn about how it all worked, we went from 1 to 3 to 5 to 7 very quickly. And because we knew what we had to do to get there, right? We had a plan, we had the process, we stuck to the plan. And look, you're going to put goals in place. You're not always going to hit those goals, but if you have a goal to reach 4, it gets you to a next level, and then you can keep readjusting to get there. But from a standpoint of purely, a system or something, that was really the big change for us. Separate from that, there are things like just be kind and be courteous and check on your people. Make sure that everybody's heads are in the right places, and that they're, especially now with everything that's going on, really getting in touch with the employees and understanding what their real needs are, because it's not always money. And understanding that gets you to the next level, and doing the things that matter to them will make it so that you have that culture, which is, to me, the most important thing out of all of it, right? Having the right culture in place where everybody in the company would walk through a wall for each other, not just the owner, but for each other, is a big deal. And that all tied in well with, getting EOS in line and getting the right people in line. But I really find that, if you're just honest and genuine and can open yourself up to the people that you bring in and take it to the next level together, you're going to get there a lot easier. You're going to achieve that a little bit easier.
Sounds like some good insights. So Ken, I guess we got an opportunity for networking, ask, elevator pitch, anybody that should be reaching out to you and or who should be reaching out to you and why should they be reaching out to you?
So again, I am not a sales guy, as you know, we talk about the whole. I think that we should stop selling as an industry altogether and be more prescriptive. So when I say something, it's more about getting help from somewhere. If you're an MSP and you're struggling in any way, shape, or form with your finances, your business model, the things that are keeping you up at night, Taylor Business Group is a good place to talk, a good place to go and turn and talk to. I would say that if you're serious about taking it to the next level, because it is work, right, Jim? Nothing worth doing is easy. I
Definitely.
would say get a coach, go to a group, do something. If it's not Taylor, fine. But the only way we're all going to get better is to get the help that we need. And there are coaches that know things that we don't all know, right? Get the help in the areas that you need help in. Finance is not, I don't know very many IT people who are great with finance, Jim. I know I wasn't. I'm still not great. I understand it. I know where my EBITDA should be and I understand the process, but there is no way in the world I would trust me with anybody's finances for that. And that's why a coach is and a group, a business improvement group to help you with that is so important. So that's what Taylor brings to the table. We're not your typical peer group. There's plenty of great peer groups for that peer part of it, but it's the next level. We call it the business improvement groups. And that's where your peers work together with you on your finances. You hold each other accountable. There's the word, Jim. Being held accountable will help you fix those problems, get out of the weeds, and allow yourself to get to the next level. So, from my perspective, coming on board here, I want to help the community always. That's always been my forte. So, Taylor Business Group was my opportunity to help the community in such a way that I never could before, where I can now get it down to the financial level and really give help to the folks that need it. Again, not a sales pitch, more of a, hey, we're here to help. If you
Uh-huh.
want to look at it and check it out, great. If you don't, check somebody out because you
Sure.
do need to make sure. And by the way, check with your peers first. Don't just go and find a coach that you don't know anything about or you're not sure that they have the same track record with your type of business. Make sure you reach out to your peers that are doing what you do and how they're getting better. And they'll tell you the groups that they use that work and don't work.
So if somebody wanted to reach out to you specifically, what would be a good way to get in touch with you?
So I'm definitely connected on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can definitely send me a message there. I also have my email address is ken@taylorbusinessgroup.com. Very simple. And I'm always open to have a conversation. And again, like I said, I'm here for the whole community. So reach out if you have questions and you're struggling with something. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with the coaching or business side or whatever. Reach out. We have groups for that. I do run a community group on Thursdays that we just jump on a call with vendors, MSPs. It's open to everybody. Jim, you're welcome to come. I'll send you a note on it. And it's just a group where we just talk about anything. We can talk about food. We talk about networking. We talk about security. It's all about the community as a whole. And that's something that's still very near and dear to my heart. Taylor, of course, has said, yes, you can keep running this community call. So anything that you guys need, if you want to jump on that call, great, let me know. But separate from that, if you need anything, I'm here for the whole community, ready to help.
Thank you. Well, I guess I should thank you on behalf of the community then. And thank you for your time here today and sharing your wisdom and knowledge. I think I've learned a little bit myself, and I hope others will learn from it also in the community.
I'm looking forward to it, Jim. And you do a great thing here, getting this out there and getting people out there. So make sure you're all listening to Jim on these podcasts. He's got some good stuff.
Well, thank you. And until the next time on the Profits of IT, I am Jim Punzenberger, your host, the creator of the Managed Prospecting System, looking to generate new clients or partners without cold calling, ad spend, or spamming. Be sure to check out managedprospectingsystem.com. Thank you for tuning in to the Profits of IT. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and share.